Hi everyone, Joe Oriema here on YesNetwork.com. I'm here with the one and only Mark Carig from the Star Ledger. How are you doing, Mark, today?
I'm good, man. Just waking up.
Mark, real quick, I know, we want to talk about the spring training so far. You've been here since basically day one. What have you noticed about this 2010 roster so far?
It seems like a roster that seems to fit. I think there are certain needs that they went out and addressed during the off season, and it seems like they've got like a mix of players that should be able to fill some of those gaps. It's an experienced roster that's sort of infused with some younger talent, more athletic talent. So, in the same lineup, you've got Derek Jeter, with Curtis Granderson, and then guys like Brett Gardner mixed in there too. So it's an interesting lineup, interesting roster with a lot of different skills mixed in there and different experience levels as well. It's still an older team.
Right.
You've got the core four there that produce a lot, but I think a lot of the complementary pieces, you see some interesting diversity there as far as age and skill set.
Well, you mentioned Curtis Granderson, and he's very athletic. He hit 30 home runs in a very hard ballpark to hit home runs in. He comes to a Yankee Stadium as a lefty in a short porch in right field. How do you think he's going to do? And I know hitting against lefties is a concern. What have you heard about anything on that front?
Talking to Curtis, he feels good about the work that he's done with Kevin Long, even leading up to spring training. That work continues now. When you talk to Curtis, he thinks last year was a bit of an aberration. You would expect a player to say that.
Right.
But, he does have a much better overall track record against left-handers. I think you hit on a key point there, though. Yankee Stadium could be a very friendly place for him. I'll be sort of interested to see how much it changes his approach. Johnny Damon talked last year a lot about hitting more fly balls, and he admitted that it might have changed his approach a little bit.
Right.
I don't necessarily see Curtis Granderson doing that. Not necessarily. I don't think he necessarily has to do that, but definitely that's going to play a factor in sort of how he evolves here, because there's no denying that Comerica Park and Yankee Stadium are completely different places. Even though, I must say, I don't think Yankee Stadium is as much of a hitter's park or even a power generating park as it may have looked. I think we've been colored by maybe the first month and a half, 6 weeks in the new ballpark. When you look at how it played the rest of the year, very different.
Another spot that is really up for grabs here is the number 5 spot in the rotation. Sergio Mitre yesterday had a great outing, 3 innings, just looked very solid. But really, it's still a battle. Everybody talks about Hughes and Jabba. If one of those guys doesn't win it, can you see them both being in the bullpen, or do you think this is really just a battle between Phil and Jabba?
I sort of lean towards believing that this is a two-man race, between Jabba and Phil, and I feel like, there are a lot of reasons for that. Primarily, there's been so much investment put in the two by the organization that, it's hard to imagine that they wouldn't get this spot now, or one of them anyway. However, the 3 other guys there, it seems to me at least that they really believe that they're in this thing. Sergio Mitre certainly, to his credit, in his first 2 outings, is performing as if he believes he's really in this thing. He looked pretty good yesterday. And the interesting thing about Mitre is that he's coming off of his second year. It's his second year coming off of Tommy John surgery.
Right.
He feels a lot stronger. He told me yesterday this was his first true off season, and that he got to rest. Let's think about this now. He got Tommy John in July of 2008. Okay, he's in rehab, working and maintaining flexibility for 4 months after that. So now it puts us on November 2008.
Kind of the old 18-month rule.
Well, he's throwing.
Yeah.
He's been throwing since November of 2008 till November of 2009, like a full calendar year of throwing.
Yeah, he's strong right now.
Right, well, he finally got a break.
Right, exactly. Yeah. You have such great breaking news on Twitter. You're all over this team. Just plug what you've got out there. I know you're talking about doing a live chat. You're on NJ.com. You've got great blogs. What have you got going right now?
Well, it's it's been fun sort of watching this thing evolve, actually. So as usual, we'll be blogging at nj.com/Yankees. We try to have some interesting stuff there, writing stories for the paper and whatnot. The thing I did on Sunday on Cervelli, for instance, we'll have some of those in the mix as well. You can catch us on Twitter. It's ledger_Yankees. We try to get as much stuff on there, especially as it's happening. As you mentioned, there's a possibility that we start doing a live video blog, which is sort of a fun, interactive thing. And I like dealing with the readers and talking with readers, and this might be kind of a cool way to sort of expand on that. So it should be fun season, and looking forward to just being around.
All right, well, Mark, I want to do what you kind of do on Twitter right now. I want to do a roll call. I am in Tampa, Florida, and I'm next to Mark Carig. That is Mark Carig of The Ledger. I'm Joe Oriema. Keep coming back to YesNetwork.com for all of your spring training and 2010 Yankees needs.